welcome to my views and news. Wednesday's first video for you. Breaking news is from Western Tigray. Wolkait, Sagade, Humera. We know that the two sides, Ethiopian federal government and Tigray regional government, have been accusing each other that attack on Wolkait was about to start. This morning, reportedly, armed hostilities erupted in some parts of this disputed territory. Where is ongoing fighting? Is it a large-scale offensive? Who launched it? Is Sudan involved? Because we know that for months Ethiopian government has been claiming that Sudan is arming, Sudan is recruiting, Sudan is training Tigray fighters, and preparations were seen on Sudanese soil. We have details for you. Secondly, Ethiopian Air Force claimed to have shot down an Antonov 26 military transport plane a few days ago, and Ethiopian Air Chief Yilmaz Mirdasa in a briefing shared details about how this plane entered Ethiopian airspace, how it was warned, where it was shot down. Air Force shared coordinates of the place as well where the plane was shot down. Now speculations are being shared that a top TDF general was on board this plane. Thirdly, Oromo Liberation Army is definitely now making territorial gains. Pressure has been released. ENDF is being shifted towards northern Ethiopia. Yesterday, we reported about OLA's capture of a military camp. OLA has taken control of a nearby sugar factory as well in a very strategic area. We have details and a clip for you from Oromia, Western Valaga. Firstly, viewers, Wolkait, Sagade, Humera. Tigray calls it Western Tigray. Amhara region calls it Wolkait, Sagade, Humera. Both regions have their claims to this territory. Tigray says, according to Ethiopian constitution, this territory is part of Tigray. It has never been part of Amhara region. Amhara region claims that the territories Wolkait, Sagade, Humera were annexed by Tigray politicians in the past. And we know that since the start of this new phase of war on the 24th of August, both sides have been claiming that a military offensive on this area was coming. Tigray was claiming that Ethiopian federal and regional forces were about to launch major offensive and they were about to open a new front on western side. And before the start of this new phase of escalation on 24th of August, before that, Tigray claimed that its defensive positions, its army's defensive positions in Dadaba town were shelled by Ethiopian federal forces, Ethiopian National Defense Force from western zone. Tigray has been saying that, and Ethiopian government on the other hand, it has also been claiming that Tigray was making preparations for an assault, a military assault on Wolkait. Birhanu Jula in an interview clearly said that Tigray forces were making preparations to attack Wolkait. Now we know that Tigray forces are advancing in Wollo. They have taken Kobo Robit. They are trying to move towards Woldia. They are trying to encircle Woldia. And they are advancing in Himora zone as well. They are trying to capture Sikota, and then they want to move towards Lalibela, North Wollo. What about Wolkait? People were questioning, will there be TDF's major offensive on Wolkait? We don't know about major offensive, but some armed hostilities are being reported close to Humera. Since this morning, armed hostilities are ongoing around around 15 kilometers away from Humera. This new escalation has started. Question is, from which direction an attack on Wolkait, Humera has been launched? From Shire side or from Sudan side? What we have learned so far is that from Sudan side, this new escalation was started. So it means that Tigray fighters who have already been deployed there to Sudan, Ethiopia border, they started this escalation. It seems, though it's not we're receiving information. What we have learned so far is that close to Humera, shelling is being reported, and some sources say that fighting has started as well. Can we say that Tigray fighters from Sudan have launched a full-scale offensive on western Tigray, on Humera, Wolkait? We'll have to wait a little, because this is not the first time that we are seeing escalation on Ethiopia-Sudan border. In several previous videos, we reported small-scale attacks launched by Tigray fighters from Sudanese soil on Ethiopian forces deployed close to Humera. So it's the first time. Can this escalation turn into a large-scale offensive? That remains to be seen. And if Tigray fighters continue their attacks from Sudan side of the border towards Humera, will Tigray forces try to advance from Shire as well towards Wolkait? Will they try to cross attack as a river? That remains to be seen. And we know that thousands of Ethiopian troops have crossed into Eritrea as well. If a full-scale war starts in Wolkait, what will Ethiopian troops in Eritrea do? Will they try to storm Shiraro? So several questions will find answers in coming hours. But what we can confirm now is that armed escalation close to Humera is ongoing these minutes. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopian federal government, Ethiopian National Defense Force, Ethiopian Air Force all claimed that they shot down, that Ethiopian Air Force shot down an Antonov military transport plane carrying some individuals or some logistics for Tigray forces. The plane was shot down on the 25th of August, I think. Tigray was accused that it was receiving military support from Ethiopian enemies, and that the plane belonged to Ethiopia's historical enemies. We know that Ethiopian Chief Yilma Mirdasa shared details about how the plane entered Ethiopian airspace. It was warned, then it was shot down by an Ethiopian fighter jet. No details were shared about what was on board. Were weapons on board? Were some individuals on board? No details. Now some government-backed activists are claiming that the plane Antonov 26 shot down over Tigray was carrying a general working for Tigray Defense Force. It's not official position of Ethiopian federal government. But since the information is coming from those quarters which are backed by Ethiopian government, that is why we are sharing it with you. It is being said that General Fiseha Kidanu was on board this Antonov 26 and that the plane was shot down and the general has been killed. General Fiseha Kidanu has been operating in Sudan. We know, I think I reported in some videos in the past as well, that he was operating in Sudan. He was involved in training, organizing Tigray fighters there. So now a claim is being made about his death, but without evidence, obviously. Debris of the plane fell in Tigray's territory because it was shot down over northwestern Tigray. So Ethiopian government does not have debris, does not have any. It did share some pictures. The pictures were taken by a TB2 drone, pictures of Antonov 26 before it was shot down. I think it was spotted by TB2. Then fighter jet became involved, and ultimately Antonov 26 was shot down. That is the story which was told to us by Ethiopian federal government. And now through government-backed activists, it is being claimed that General Fiseha Kidanu has been killed in this attack, but it remains to be seen. It needs verification. If Ethiopian government was sure about the death of General Fiseha Kidanu, it would have officially claimed, but it has not shared any official statement so far. Lastly, viewers, Oromo Liberation Army fighters are making territorial gains. A viewer contacted me. He said, Sajid, you say OLA is regaining territories. OLA is not regaining territories, it's gaining new territories because it is on the offensive, and some strategic areas have been captured by Oromo Liberation Army. You reported Didesa ENDF camp. It is very strategic camp and it is under OLA control, and a sugar factory close to this camp has also been captured by OLA fighters. Sugar factory, military camp are in West Valaga, right on West Valaga, Benishangal, Gumuz region border. Very strategic area. For days, OLA, Oromo Liberation Army, was fighting for the control of this military camp and this sugar factory, which is called Arjo Didesa Sugar Factory, having thousands of tons of sugar. It has come under the control of Oromo Liberation Army. OLA will definitely intensify its operations because pressure has been released. ENDF has been relocated from Oromia towards northern Ethiopia, and OLA will definitely intensify its attacks. We could see OLA penetrate Oromia Special Zone, North Shore Zone of Amhara region as well. Watch this video showing OLA fighters entering Arjo Didesa Sugar Factory on West Valaga, Benishangal, Gumuz regions borders. Thank you for watching.